Hello and welcome to this introductory case study in this course, Campus Placements and Corporate Relations Excellence. So, in this lecture, we will talk about this case study of becoming excellent in campus placements and corporate relations. So, let's take a look at that. So, this is a case of, a mid-level training and placement officer at an engineering and business college who turns a struggling placement record into a strong, sustainable corporate connect ecosystem by changing how he understood companies, prepared students, and built long term relationships. So let's take a look at that. So, what is the context and who are the people involved? The key player here is Dr. Karan Malhotra, right? He is a assistant professor plus a newly appointed training and placement officer in a regional engineering college, tier 2, tier 3, with talented but unpolished students. And there, the situation is, average placements are 30 to 50% of the eligible students, right? Mostly low paying local companies, few national brands, a few repeat recruiters. And students blame college, saying that no good companies compare, companies blame students, and that they are not industry rated. And the director has told Karan that, we need someone who can bridge the gap between our students and industry. If things don't improve in 2 to 3 years, our admissions will drop. And Karan takes up this challenge, but he quickly feels stuck, right? So, what is the challenge that he is facing? So, what Karan initially does, he tries few things like sending emails to HR heads, attending job fairs and collecting business cards, asking seniors alumni for referrals, conducting a few generic aptitude sessions. And what were the results of Karan's these initial trials? Occasionally one time visit from companies have started happening. Occasionally, but one time. There's no strong relationship with these companies, and there's no systematic preparation of the students. And there's no understanding of why some companies don't come back. And he realizes that he's busy organizing events but has no clear strategy. So he also says that we seem to be reacting, not building something. So that's the challenge. So how to build this clear strategy and then build activity rather than doing activity without strategy. So what was the turning point in this whole thing? The turning point is when he decided to treat the campus placements and corporate relations like a long-term business, right? With customers who are like companies, students, faculty, alumni, product, industry being the industry-ready talent, and the brand, the institute's reputation in the job market. Now, what does Karan do is that he does a brutally honest review. He collects data. Which companies came in last 3 years? How many offers? At what package? Why did they come? Whether it was referrals, cold emails, alumni, and why did some not come back? And he calls a few HR managers and candidly asks a few questions like, what made you come to our campus? And what would make you come again or not come again? He also conducts student survey, right, in which he asks what roles and industries they want, where they feel underprepared in terms of communication, coding, GDs, interviews, and what support they expect from the TNP set. And patterns start emerging. Companies say we like your students' sincerity, but their communication and practical skills are weak. We don't get consistent pipeline. It feels one off. The student said we start preparing too late. We don't know what roles exist and which companies act, what companies want actually. And Karan reframes the whole thing, saying that his job is not to arrange companies at the end. His job is to create value for companies and students over the 2 to 3 year period. And he decides to build excellence via a three-front strategy of student readiness, corporate relationship building, and branding and data-driven placement management. Now let's see how what does he do in this whole thing. So first step, he starts, building a talent pipeline program instead of a last minute coaching. So instead of only final year crash courses, current designs a structured placement readiness pathway across semesters. And he introduces a skill mapping with employers where current shortlist 15 to 20 target companies, roles in IT, FMCG, analytics, operations, and for each he documents must have skills, technical and soft both, typical selection process, tests, GDs, interviews, and common reasons for rejection. And he validates this by speaking to recruiters, alumni working in these companies, and he creates a role readiness sheet and shares them with students. That if you want this role X, these are the skills you need to have and the tests that you need to face. And here's a semester-wise plans to get ready. So things starts happening there. Then he does a structured training timeline. Pre-final year, he focuses on aptitude plus communication basics, resume building workshop using real JD templates and examples, mock interviews by alumni and industry partners. Second year or earlier to the pre-final year, or even earlier, he talks about preparing students on foundations like Excel, communication, problem solving, basic programming where relevant, and also GDs on current affairs. He ensures that every training session is mapped to actual placement requirement, not random topic. And what he starts learning there is that excellence in placement is not about a few finishing school sessions, it's about a multi-year talent development pipeline. Right. Second step, he turns alumni into a strategic asset. Karan realizes that alumni are his most powerful bridge, but alumni networks is scattered and underutilized. So he starts with few small but consistent steps. He starts with alumni database and segmentation by collecting updated data on company, role, location of the alumni, and segments alumni by industry and seniority. Second, he forms alumni industry panels, quarterly virtual sessions, a day in the life of a business analyst, sales manager, developer, and where alumni explain actual job realities, skills needed, and interview tips. Third thing he does is starts treating alumni as recruiters and advocate, identifies alumni in hiring influential position, asks them, can we start with a small internship, a project collaboration, then move to campus hiring? And the third thing is start using alumni in a mentoring program by matching final year students with alumni mentors in relevant roles and with a clear structure, 3 to 4 conversions over 6 months, resume interviews, mock HR technical rounds, and career advices. And within a year, 4 companies visit campus primarily because of the alumni push. Alumni feel more connected and proud to support their college. And the learning for Dr. Karan is that corporate relation is often alumni relations in disguise. Third thing he does is he moves from once-off visits to relationship accounts. Previously the TNP cell treated each company as a one-time event. Karan introduces a concept of key account management, right? Key recruitment accounts. For 10 to 15 core companies, he builds long-term engagement in terms of single point of contact, right? Assigns a faculty member and a student coordinator for each such key company. And sets up annual review meeting. After the placement season, he calls each company and asks what was good, where their students fell short, and what changes shall we make in our curriculum or training. Then co-creates activity, invites them for guest lectures, live projects, case competition, internship pipelines, and some companies start helping design a minor certification or short model. Then the fourth thing it does data sharing and transparency by sharing aggregate performance data without breaching confidentiality in terms of number of students who cleared each round, analysis and aptitude scores, coding tests, etc. And also start showing improvements over previous years to prove that the institute is investing in quality. And this changes the tone from please come to campus placements to let's co-develop a pipeline of industry ready talent with you. And companies begin to trust the college more and recruit regularly, not randomly. So that was the third step. Fourth thing Dr. Karan does is to build the college placement around placement brand story. The institute so far has been just another college. Karan decides to create a clear value proposition for the recruiters by answering a few questions. What's unique about students and how we prepare them? He works with faculty, students, alumni to define their strengths, which is strong in fundamentals, good work ethics, ready to work in diverse locations. And what are the differentiators? Mandatory industry linked projects, you know, communication and professional skills training integrated over semesters, and alumni engagement in mentoring and marketing. And to communicate all that, he creates a few things: a crisp recruiter PPT and a brochure, a short video with students and recruiter professionals, and one page why recruit from us document. Now, when approaching new companies, he uses this. They just don't send a simple generic email. They send a clear, consistent brand story plus data and success story. And this improves the first impression and the response rate. So brand building starts happening. Then earlier the decisions were based on feeling, like the batch is strong, the batch is weak, we did okay last year, this year, and current sets up simple placement analytics. For students, he tracks readiness indicators like test scores, participation, certification, interview performance. For companies, he tracks number of roles offered, salary ranges, repeat visits, feedback scores, and he uses these metrics to identify gaps early. Example, verbal ability scores were low. We need more practice sessions in semester 5. Targeted training sessions, not generic. Special coding bootcamp for those targeting tech roles. And shows improvement rates year on year to management and companies. Now he can say, last year only 30% of our final year students were industry ready by July. This year 55% clear internal readiness benchmarks before companies arrive. Data plus credibility plus more support from management, faculty, and companies started happening, right? Now, some students still expected that college would bring companies and they will just sit for the interview. Current knew this mindset will kill placement outcomes. So he designed a student ownership framework, right? He developed a student ownership framework with elements like eligibility criteria for campus drives, right? In which there was internal test on aptitude, communication, and technical, minimal attendance in training session, and verified resume. Second element of this framework was pre-placement contracts, a simple understanding. Students commit to honest resumes, professional behavior with recruiters, and not backing out after accepting offer. And the third element was regular communication through monthly placement bulletins, drives, training events, and success stories, and clear calendar so that students know when to expect which activity. The message now was the TNP cell opens the door. It's your responsibility to be prepared when you walk through them. And thus created a culture of shared responsibility, not blame. So, what was the outcome? So, within 3 placement seasons, overall placements rates rose from 40% to 75% for eligible students. Number of repeated recruiters increases significantly, and average salary improves, and 4 to 5 new reputable companies visits due to alumni and brand building effects, and students start talking about that our college trains us well and gives us good industry exposure. And the director now publicly acknowledges that Karan has not just improved placement, he has implemented and institutionalized a system that will keep working beyond him. And if you see, the Karan's real achievement is that he turned campus placements and corporate relations from a one man, one season firefighting job into a structured, multi stakeholder value creation system. So these are the outcomes from struggle to strong, sustainable ecosystem in placement. So let's take a look at this framework that you can also use. So it has what we have talked about, starts with clarifying the market needs, aligning student development, mobilizing alumni and mentors, partnering strategically with companies, upgrading brands and use data, and sharing responsibility with the students. And you can come back and read on what to do in each of these stages. So what's the final takeaway? The excellence in campus placement and corporate relation is not about calling more companies. It's about creating genuine value for recruiters and students, building trust and running placements like a long-term business model. At an individual level, a TPO faculty or a student leader, this means understanding what industry really wants, not what we assume it wants, right? Building multi-year readiness, not last-minute crash courses. Using alumni as powerful bridges, not occasional guests, and managing relationship with companies systematically like key accounts, measuring and communicating progress with data, and creating a culture where students own their preparation. So, what do we do next now? So we get on with looking at the whole process that we have for you in this course of excellence in campus placement and corporate relations. And we begin by talking about what do we really mean by campus placements and corporate relations excellence, right? So thank you so much for watching this introductory case study in this course. I hope you're beginning to learn new things, beginning to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions, and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to.